Hello everyone, today we are going to do the Abbasid build guide for Culture Wing. So again, as per my first video, this Culture Wing build is not something that you would typically do. It's something that is very rare and extremely situational, and you have to be able to react depending on what your opponent is doing. So typically speaking, I would only really do it against maybe HRE and another Abbasid if the Abbasid is booming a lot and you know he didn't go military wing. You can still do it if he does military wing. It's just a little harder, but pretty much against any other civ, at least in the meta right now, as of October 2023, you will most likely just die. Unless your opponent's really, not doing anything, in which case it can work out, because the whole idea behind doing the culture wing is you go fast castle, and you can either pump out knights or ghulams. In this build, I'm going to show Ghulams because I think they are quite strong and they are a little cheaper. But knights are good as well. The only problem with knights is that they're easily countered by feudal spears. I say easily, they need to obviously have a lot of spears, but it's easy for them to get. Whereas Ghulams, if your opponent's still in feudal, there are no counters. Okay, so we're about to get into it. So you're going to want the same opening. You're going to want 7 on food. The first villager out of your town center builds a house. And we're going to go to berries. Now, this build compared to other builds is different in the sense that sheep are important because you will need that food source to go up. And I'm going to demonstrate here basically what we call naked fast castle, which is where we don't build any military buildings and we just build exactly what we need to age up. Okay, so which is why again this only really works against certain matchups in certain situations. This is actually a pretty good spawn because our golden food is at the back. That's ideally what you want. If your gold is at the front, it does make it a little bit easier to harass. So again, we're going to go up to 704. Building our House of Wisdom with our second or third gold villager. So yeah, this build is very susceptible to harass because the unique technology Preservation of Knowledge, which we get from the Culture Wing, which reduces all our technologies by 20%, I believe. We'll check that in a second. Doesn't really give a huge benefit to us in feudal compared to Fertile Crescent and Boot Camp. So this build is definitely the weakest build in feudal for Abbasid in terms of which wing to go. Okay, so we'll go up to 704 and then back onto food because we want to again focus on that age up. I missed the sheep there, so yeah, again with this build it's very important that you're switching back to your scout so you can see where your scout is, see where the sheep are. Again, not super important that you drop off the sheep early because we are on berries, but it is nice to get more sheep relative to the other builds where getting the more sheep doesn't necessarily matter as much. Okay, so again we're just gonna go. We're gonna go 9 on. Well, we got the age up right now, so we go culture wing. We go 9 on food, and then we want to go 1 to wood. Okay, so this is preservation of knowledge. So it reduces again all our technology by 25% or 20%, including age up. So it makes it so that our next age up, instead of being 1200, 600, it's 980, 460. So we're just going to go on 1 onto wood, and then we're going to go 1 more onto gold, and then rest on food. Okay, so we're going to be doing 925 and then all on food. And I will be showing the Ghulam variation of this build, and I will comment on the night variation when I'm in castle. So 915 and then Alta food. Okay, so the only reason that this villager is here is because we want to get a house and preservation of knowledge. It's not super important to get preservation of knowledge right away, so we can just slowly trickle this in. But we do want a house. I'm actually just gonna throw one more villager onto wood. Okay, I think it'll be fine. Just one should be enough to build that house. Okay, so we're not gonna get preservation of knowledge right away because what we want to get first is that house. So as soon as this villager gathers, and in this game, unlike other age titles, if you are pop capped, the villager continues to build. So now we want to just get the 25 wood for preservation of knowledge. So you can see I'm pop capped, but that doesn't matter because the villager is still building. So as long as I have the house before 12 seconds, which I do here, it'll be fine. And then we want to get the 25 wood for preservation of knowledge, and then pretty much all on to food. Okay, so we want to get this 25 wood, so we just need an additional 5 wood here, so this wood piece goes down to 75. And again, you can see here we're very, what we call naked, in the sense that we have no military production buildings, and no option to build them because we are going that super fast castle. So again, we're going to want, by the time this is done, we're going to have, in 17 seconds, we're going to have enough to age up. You can see here we're going to be pretty much perfect once this is aged up. Or once this completes, and then we're going to age up with military wing right away. Okay. And then from here, what you want to do is you want to go take a bunch of villagers, 7, 8 is fine, and we go directly on. Well, we take all our villagers actually from here and go right to wood. So what we want to do is we want to, in the time that this takes to age up, which is about 1 minute 45 seconds, we want to get enough for a barracks. Well, a couple barracks. Lumber camp as well, and we're going to need additional houses. So wood is going to be very important in the transition to castle, but we want to make sure that we're still on food and gold because we obviously have to build units. So I'm going to go on the house. And then we're going to go on to, once we have 10 to 12 on wood, we're going to go to food, a barracks. So again, this is pretty much only if you're not being harassed, you can play the build this way. There are variations where if they contest, you need to build production feudal, which means you need to be on. So we do contest here with the timing from HRE, but so there is a potential to deny relics because you have these 2 camel archers that pop out, and you can start going Ghulams from your first phase. We also want to get boot camp because we will be going Ghulams. And we want to leave 10 on food. And we just leave the 10 or so on wood. And we're going to go up to 3 barracks. And then we want to throw in a blacksmith when we can, and another house. You can also think about getting upgrades like wheelbarrow and some of our other eco upgrades, but as you can see, this build is very taxing on food, so
ما الذي
we'll need to
يتمناه؟
make sure
انتبهوا الآن. سيحدث
we
ذلك.
have enough food.
اصطفوا.
And so this is part of the issue with this build, is that you don't have enough food. You don't have enough villagers of food to support the amount of production that you have, which is part of why this build is so rare and why this build, generally speaking, is not that good.
على استعداد
So we don't need to be on wood at this point. We switch to food, and then from here it's just, you know, at this point I would probably try to pick up relics, get sacred sites, and try to apply pressure to the opponent's eco to deny him from going castle himself. Alright, and this is the build again, very situational. There is a play here where you go knights, but knights are even more expensive than Ghulams, right? Knights are 140 food, 100 gold, whereas Ghulams are only 120 and 30. And once they get boot camped, they have almost the same amount of HP as a knight. I believe a knight has 240 HP. Obviously, you don't have the mobility, but they are just as tanky and are a lot cheaper. So this is the build. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, which will be Trade Wing.